What did we continues here? Now, Amazon Prime Video has pretty much laid out its fall schedule, its film slate, I should say. Still no word on when like the Boys season four is coming or the Boys spin-off or anything, but this is most of the four film schedules, and lots of them really looks promising. Now, here are the films that they have slated. First up, of course, Samara, which has already been dated. That is, still scheduled to be released on August 28th with Sylvester Stallone, which that movie looks really cool. They got a new documentary called Flight Risk, which follows everyday people who find themselves in the midst of a global tragedy when two Boeing 737 MAX planes crashed only 5 months apart in 2018 to 19. That is set for release on September 9th. Goodnight Mommy, which is a remake of a French film of the same name that stars Naomi Watts. It's where like when twin brothers arrive home to find their mother's debonair, altered, and face covered in surgical bandages, they begin to suspect the woman beneath the clothes might not be their mother. That is set for release on September 16th. My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is actually based on a book of the same name, stars Elsie Fisher, Amal Miller, and Chris Lowell. Here's what's about. The year is 1988. The high school sophomores, Abby and Gretchen, have been best friends since fourth grade. But after an evening of skinning dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening when she's nearby. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries, and by the time the story reaches its terrifying conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will determine by a single question: is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? That is set for release on September 30th, and that actually sounds cool. I mean, who does this is a film? Should be interesting. All right. On September 23rd, in limited release and Prime Video October 7th, there's Lena Dunham's new film, or a second new film, Catherine Called Birdie, which takes place in 1290, the medieval English village of Stonebridge. Lady Catherine, known as Birdie, is the youngest child of Lord Royo, and Lady Estlin. Her playground is a Stonebridge Manor, a house that, like the family, has seen better days. Financially disputed and utterly greedy, Rollo sees his daughter as path out of financial ruin by marrying her off to a wealthy man for money and land. But Birdie, like all the great teen heroines, is spirited, clever, and adventurous. Now, cast members includes Bella Ramsey, Andrew Scott, Billy Piper, and Joe Alwyn. That is, like I said, it's set for release on September 23rd. Now, of course, Lee Dunham also has Sharpstick, which looks really interesting. I'm going to see that sometime this week. All right. There's also Argentina 1985, which is actually a documentary set for limited release on September 30th and Prime Video October 21st. There's Run Sweetheart Run, which this movie should have been out by now, by the way. I remember seeing this trailer literally back in 2020, but obviously the pandemic happened and everything. I remember the poster for this thing got hung up in theaters, and I saw the trailers for this film. I believe the last time I saw the trailer for this was probably in front of The Hunt, back which was the last movie I was able to see in 2020. But of course, pandemic happened, and it ended up going straight to Prime Video. I'm really interested in this. It stars El Balinska, who's in that new Resident Evil series, directed by Shana Fest. Got Clark Greggs in this. I mean, the trailer looks super cool. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get a new trailer by then. But here's what the premise is. After what begins as dinner with a client, a single mom played by Ella Balinska finds herself haunted by a monstrous and seemingly unstoppable assailant in this terrifying dark thriller. I believe this is also still for Blumhouse, but still, I'm really interested in this. I've been looking forward for this movie since 2020, so I'm definitely gonna check this one out when it premieres. It does look creepy, it looks entertaining, so hopefully the wait will be worth it. All right, we also got the Harry Styles. Oh, and I not sure if I mentioned, but the Run Sweetheart Run finally comes out on October 28th. All right, we got the Harry Styles film called My Policeman, which comes out on October 21st, and in theaters by Prime Video on November 4th. The People Who Hate We Hate at the Wedding, which stars the likes of Allison Jennings, Kristen Bell, Platt, Tony Goldwyn, directed by Claire Scanline. The film follows struggling American siblings, Alice, played by Kristen Bell, and Paul, played by Ben Platt, who reluctantly agrees to attend the wedding of their estranged wealthy half-sister, played by Cynthia Aldana Robinson, in the English countryside, alongside their mother, Donna, played by Allison Jennings. And over the course of the wedding weekend, the family's many skeletons are wrenched from the closet. So we've seen this before, Meet the Parents. We've seen this with stuff like My Big Fat Greek Wedding. So definitely we've seen this type of stuff before. But that's coming out on November 18th. It could be interesting to check out there. All right, we got a documentary called Goodnight Opie, which tells the true story of Opportunity, a rover that was sent to Mars for a 90-day mission, but ended up surviving 15 years. This comes out in theaters on November 4th, and Prime Video November 23rd. Could be interesting there. Got a movie called Something from Tiffany's, which comes out on December 9th. Here's what this is about. It stars Zoe Deutsch. By the way, I should do my review soon, but I saw Not Okay, and she was so good in that. Not a likable character, but she was really good. Now, Something from Tiffany is a holiday romantic comedy about a woman's life who is upended when an engagement ring meant for someone else leads her to the person she's meant to be with. This could be interesting. I mean, yes, just the title sounds like a Hallmark film. Yeah, I guess maybe Alicia Bear or probably Candace Cameron Bure wasn't available, so they got Zoe Deutsch in this. So it could be interesting, though. Who knows? Now, granted, I'm not hating on Hallmark films. I mean, I don't mind Hallmark films. I mean, there are some Hallmark films that I have seen in the past that I don't mind. I mean, but sometimes they can be a little cheesy, Anywho. All right, we also got a horror film called Nanny, which comes to theaters on November 23rd and Prime Video on December 16th. It stars Titan star Anna Diop, Michelle Monaghan, Shanika Walls, Leslie Uggams, Morgan Spector. This, I believe, premiered at Sundance, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but here's what this film's about. Aisha, who is an undocumented nanny working for a privileged couple in New York City, as she prepares for the arrival of the son she left behind in West Africa, a violent president evades her reality, draining the American dream. She painstakingly piecing together. So, I actually heard some really cool stuff about this over at from Sundance, and I believe it's premiering at Venice, if I'm not mistaken, too. So this definitely sounds like it'd be really cool. It sounds creepy, so it could be interesting. Last but not least, a documentary called Wildcat, which comes out in theaters on December 21st and Prime Video December 30th. It's a documentary where, back from war in Afghanistan, a young British soldier struggling with depression and PTSD finds a second chance in the Amazon rainforest. I see. Amazon Amazon Prime Video with Amazon Rainforest. Funny. When he meets an American scientist, and together they foster an orphan baby Akla. Sounds like it'd be really cool there. I mean, you got some really cool stuff here. If I gotta say which one I'm more interested in, obviously Run Sweetheart Run. It's the one I'm more interested in. Natty sounds really cool. So obviously Sumerian got some really cool stuff to look forward to here. I mean, Prime Video do make some really cool films, and some of these sounds like they could be interesting. Anyway, let me let you guys. Which of these Prime Video films are you interested in? Are you interested in Natty? Are you interested in Run Sweetheart Run, Sumerian, etc.? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Samuel Sion.